The stories that I write in science fiction are really not about aliens or about Earth getting attacked by a certain machine species or other species. There are no fierce battles for survival. My stories of science fiction are really a lot about philosophy. And I think finally, science fiction is a philosophical genre in a sense. Because although we are all writing about the future and writing about things that don't exist or times that don't exist, but in most of our stories, and if you look at what is written, people are dealing with issues that are there in the current times or in the times they live in. So like all literature, science fiction is also a reflection of the times. It's just dealt in a different space and time. So my writing of science fiction is more on themes. So like my first book, Ascendance, it has dealt with the idea of the gender gaps, the gender issues that confront. And while talking about a planet thousands of years in the future where men and women are the competing species, there's a lot in the story about how they reach that point, which deal with all the gender issues that we see around us these days. The second theme it deals with really is the concept of immortality, where all cultures have such a veneration and such a desire for this idea of immortality, and science is really catching up and and life is extending a lot. So actually, if human beings live, if not forever, very, very long, what is it that we lose or would likely to lose or gain in the process? So that is also another theme that I have kind of looked at. In my second book that I have written, Continuum, I have really explored the idea of basically how one is love, love in its various dimensions in various forms of relationships, and also that how in our times things change, but they don't change that much. So over time, when I have a traveler from the past, that is the reflection that how things in terms of interrelationships, hopes, ambitions really remain quite the same, and we all deal with the similar kind of challenges in our life. So my writing, and the third one that I'm working on, which is sitting in my head, for which my idea came when I read a book about the possibility of advanced ancient civilizations way back in the past, is really about home and the longing for home. I'm still thinking about it, so I cannot really tell you what it'll actually end up to be. So for me, science fiction is a kind of a philosophical discourse on the issues that confront us today, which we authors try and delve in and try and see and build it up in a future. I also don't write dystopias. In none of my books there is ever the idea that we have to come back to a particular form of living. They are really written as possible futures of humanity. It could be one possible future, somebody else would write some other kind of future, but they are not dystopic novels. And I also feel that if you look back, what was written in science fiction actually came true about 20 years ago. So the challenge that we all as authors are really going to face is that the pace of change in technology has become so exponential that as authors of science fiction, our imagination also has to grow exponentially. Because in my book, Ascendance, there's a lot about organ substitution. There's about babies born in incubators. And this is what, 5-year-old book, and one already has started reading about 3D printing of organs happening and incubators coming. So the changes are coming much sooner than what the earlier science fiction authors used to face. So I think the primary challenge or primary thing that we all authors going forward are going to face is to take our imagination there where technology will take some time to reach, because otherwise we are really in a kind of neck to neck with the kind of pace of change that is around us. And I think science fiction has become more relevant because life and all the changes that are coming around in our life are actually, fictional in a sense for many of us, and we still find it difficult to grapple with. So I think as science fiction writers, it's also important to present possible different futures that people going forward might face. So in that sense, it's a challenge and in a sense a responsibility. Maybe I would say so. Would say say that and end my intervention at this point. Thank you so much.